lens, you see it out at sea, and that's all it needs. We never thought there would actually be a lens up on the location lens. I thought it would have to have a lighting effect. Craig sets expectations pretty high. He's like, well, it's so heavy, we will never be able to get up there, you know. But then, of course, he does. And so we get the lens up there, and then I just put a 6K HMI in there.
With the Fresnel lens in the beacon and our powerful movie light, which was much brighter than the gas burner that would have been in there, I think that our lighthouse shone for 16 miles.
It's just like blinding, and we're across this bay from the town of Yarmouth, and you're just seeing this like kind of rectangular pattern, just like nailing these houses, just like right in their windows, and you're like, but it was still really cool.
We have a lot of sets that are sort of claustrophobic and specifically designed for that 1:19 aspect ratio. Most of the lighthouse works well for that frame and the breezeway and that claustrophobic house that they live in. There was one day when I got a call. We were building the scaffolding, which is the structure for the lighthouse, what holds it all up on the inside. And I got a call that they stopped working. The waves are crashing over the rocks, and all the spray is freezing to the scaffolding. So it was sheet ice. Well, okay, I guess you have to stop.
The interior of the tower and some of the other interiors were done on a stage. The diameter of the interior of the tower accurately was only 8 feet. So working in that incredibly small space, we needed to be able to pull walls out to get our camera in there.
My most challenging day was really the most challenging week, and that was the week before camera. We started filming on day one out on Cape Fortune, which is where our exteriors were all located. And we had to have all of those sets ready on day one. Part of the interior of the keeper's house we built twice so that we'd have some weather cover in case the weather wasn't what we wanted. We would have a place to go and continue filming. So that was a challenge because we had a very compressed time frame and I needed to have everything ready.
We shot in March and April. When I arrived, I remember right before we were going to shoot, we had a dinner or something to kind of celebrate the beginning of shooting. And on my way home from the dinner to my little fishing cottage where I was staying, there was an incredible snowstorm. I almost didn't make it home. The weather was crazy because you're on a little spit of land in Nova Scotia, and sometimes the winds are so strong that literally it almost blows you off your feet.
There's a lot of weather that's just real. I mean, the most effective one was when they're waiting for the tender on that rock, you know, that kind of dusky scene, and they're just there, you know, and we were just shielding the camera so it didn't, you know, because you have this vertical film magazine that's just a sail, right? So we're trying to like stabilize the camera, but all that, you know, that was just what it was, you know. So what they're there like this, we were there like this, you know.
The elements being there was very important. They were characters in the film. They informed everything that we did. They really told us what kind of movie to make.
Many of the shots are in the script as is, but a lot of the stuff is in collaboration with my cinematographer, Jaron Blaschke. We collaborate very closely on the cinematic language.
Jaron, can you pan left a little?
And the clarity and the specificity would not be there without Jaron's input.
When we design a movie, you know, we kind of go off in our corners and shot list the movie and then come together, and sometimes it'll be a scene that I came up with visually or him.
You're shooting two different heights here? Yeah. Oh, great. Yeah. This is the first part. Perfect, I was just checking that.
He usually has very distinct beginnings and ends and special sequences, like, you know, that opening sequence.
Negative, and people aren't used to it. It requires a lot more light. There's scenes where there's one kerosene lamp on the table illuminating them, but that had like a light bulb in it that was blindingly bright so that we would get exposure.
I think both me and Willem had no idea that we're just sitting across, it's the scene where we're having dinner with each other for the first time, and there's so much light in your face you can't see a thing, and we suddenly both thought like, oh wow, is this what it's going to be like the entire movie? Just